So we're set to cut them loose in 3 big heat races of your IMCA Late Models. Jim Johnson brings the crew into turn number 4. Let's go racing. Jim Johnson, Blake Anderson, Matt Haase, Eric Benazdal. In that 4th spot, then it is Alex Banks, Chase Osborne, Chris Johnson. But it is Jim Johnson, Blake Anderson. Look at this. Here comes the 9 of Benazdal working to the inside of Matt Haase. Chase Osborne looking to the inside of the 12 of Alex Banks. But Jim Johnson is checked out over Blake Anderson, Eric Benazdal, Matt Haase. Chase Osborne, look at Chris Johnson. He's battling Alex Banks, and then it's Andy Eichhoff. Jim Johnson with the lead. Blake Anderson, Eric Benazdal, Matt Haase, and Chase Osborne still battling for 4th and 5th. Then it's Chris Johnson, Alex Banks, Andy Eichhoff. Finally, Chase Osborne gets around Matt Haase for 4th. But it is Jim Johnson with the lead. Blake Anderson in 2nd. Eric Benazdal in 3rd. Chase Osborne in 4th. Coming around this time to the white flag, it's Jim Johnson, Blake Anderson, but here comes Eric Benazdal. Then it's Chase Osborne, Chris Johnson, Matt Haase, Alex Banks, and Andy Eichhoff. Checker flag's gonna fly for the 36 of Jim Johnson. 2nd's gonna go to Benazdal. 3rd will go to Anderson. Then it's Chase Osborne, Matt Haase, Chris Johnson, Alex Banks, and Andy Eichhoff. So your winner, he hails from Plainview, Nebraska. Good up to the 36 of Jim Johnson. So set on the point, the 49 of Brock Carlson brings the field down the backstretch into turn number 3. Outside of him, the 35 of Robert Osborne. Heat race number 2 in your IMCA Late Models. And let's go racing. Brock Carlson did not get a good start, but Robert Osborne did. It's Robert Osborne in the lead on lap number 1. Followed by Caleb Jasperson. Then it's Corey Dumpert. Nelson Bobright. Oh, somebody collected a tire down there in turn number 2. That might be Brock Carlson. So it looks to be the 49 of Brock Carlson. Turn number 2. And that brings out a yellow flag. There they come down the backstretch out of turn 3 into turn number 4. Mike Jensen's got the eagle eye on him. And we're back to green flag racing. Robert Osborne, Caleb Jasperson, Corey Dumpert. Jasperson up the hill, car's a little tight. Here comes Dumpert. Robert Osborne, Corey Dumpert. He's a little tight in 3 and 4. Here comes Jasperson. Here comes Bobright. Nelson Bobright using the bottom. Dumpert using the high side. Battle for 2nd and 3rd as Robert Osborne says, I'm checking out. It's Robert Osborne, Corey Dumpert, Nelson Bobright, Caleb Jasperson, John Haase, and Junior Cooper. Robert Osborne with the lead, but here comes that 77 of Corey Dumpert. 11X of Nelson Bobright, the 4 of Caleb Jasperson, John Haase, and Junior Cooper. It is still Robert Osborne. Look at this. Dumpert gets the lead at the line. Corey Dumpert got a good bite out of turn number 4 and gets the lead away from Robert Osborne. So new leader Corey Dumpert, Robert Osborne, Nelson Borman as the white flies, Caleb Jasperson, John Haase, and Junior Cooper stopped over on the backstretch. Robert Osborne, Nelson Borbright, Caleb Jasperson, and John Haase. Out of turn 4, there's a green. I believe we're going to have a green-white checkered finish here. It is Corey Dumpert, Robert Osborne, Nelson Borbright, Caleb Jasperson, and John Haase. White flags out, 1 to go for Corey Dumpert. Corey Dumpert sails that thing off into turn 3 and 4, gets the checkered flag. Robert Osborne second, Nelson Borbright third, Caleb Jasperson fourth, John Haase in fifth. But your winner from York, Nebraska, driving to 77. Give it up to Corey Dumpert. So setting the pace, it is the out 7 of Ben Sukup outside of him. Well, it's Billy Sukup. The battle of the Sukups on the front row. Third and final heat race. Let's go racing. Ben Sukup with the lead. Second belongs to Travis Berkeley. Then it's Devin Johnson, Cale Kazeski, Dylan Schmier, and Dean Wilkinson. Ben Sukup, Travis Berkeley, Devin Johnson, Cale Kazeski, Dylan Schmier, Dean Wilkinson. It is Ben Sukup, Travis Berkeley, Devin Johnson, Dylan Schmier, Cale Kazeski, Dean Wilkinson. Maybe the 101 of Billy Sukup didn't show up for the heat race. He did not show up, so I announced him. Well, he wasn't out there. It is Ben Sukup, Travis Berkeley, Devin Johnson, Dylan Schmier battling with Cale Kazeski, and then it's Dean Wilkinson. Ben Sukup with the lead, followed by Travis Berkeley, Devin Johnson, Dylan Schmier, Cale Kazeski, and Dean Wilkinson. It is still Ben Sukup with the lead, Travis Berkeley, and that killer bee number 78 in second. Devin Johnson in third, Dylan Schmier fourth, Cale Kazeski fifth, Dean Wilkinson in sixth. White flags out, 1 to go. Ben Sukup. Checker flags going to apply for Ben Sukup. Travis Berkeley second, Devin Johnson, Dylan Schmier, Cale Kazeski, and Dean Wilkinson. So your winner driving the out 7 hails from Norfolk, Nebraska. That is Ben Sukup. So it is the 73 of Chris Johnson, John Haase in the 45. Cale Kazeski, Matt Haase, Junior Cooper, Dean Wilkinson, Alex Banks, Brian Carlson, Ben Sukup, Andy Eichhoff. I believe maybe the top 4 in these also. But right now it is Chris Johnson, Matt Haase, John Haase, and Alex Banks. That's your top 4. Then it's Cale Kazeski, Billy Sukup, Andy Eichhoff. And he's battling the 52 of Dean Wilkinson. And then it's the 49 of Brock Carlson. Now Chris Johnson has set sail with Matt Haase chasing him down in second. Then it's John Haase in the 45. and the 12B of Alex Banks. That's your top four. Chris Johnson, Matt Haase, Alex Banks, John Haase, Cale Koziski, and Andy Eickhoff. Johnson's got a battle on his hands now with a 94 of Matt Honey Badger Haase. It is still Chris Johnson, followed by Matt Haase, Alex Banks, John Haase, but here comes the 35X of Cale Koziski. Chris Johnson, Matt Haase, Alex Banks, Cale Koziski, John Haase, Andy Eickhoff, Billy Sukup, Dean Wilkinson, Brock Carlson. It is still Chris Johnson with the lead. Matt Haase, Cale Koziski now battling for third with the 12P of Alex Banks. Coming around this time, it is Chris Johnson with the white flag. Matt Haase, Cale Koziski, Alex Banks, Andy Eickhoff, John Haase, Billy Sukup, Dean Wilkinson, Brock Carlson. But scooting to the win, the 73 of Chris Johnson. It'll be Matt Haase, Cale Koziski, and Alex Banks will all qualify now for the A feature. So your top four: Chris Johnson, Matt Haase, Alex Banks, and Cale Koziski. They all will transfer to the back of the late model A main. Dylan Schmier, Blake Anderson, Nelson Bobright, Robert Osborne, Devin Johnson, Chase Osborne, Caleb Jasperson, Corey Dumpert, Travis Berkeley, Jim Johnson, Matt Haase, Chris Johnson, Cale Koziski, Alex Banks. We are ready to go. It is time to rock and roll with your IMCA late models. Ben Sukup, Blake Anderson, Eric Benosdal, and I believe the 5S of Dylan Schmier. Actually, that's Dylan Schmier in second, Blake Anderson sitting back there behind Benosdal in fourth. Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Blake Anderson, Eric Benosdal, Nelson Bobright, Robert Osborne, and here comes the 77 of Corey Dumpert using the high side. It has been Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Blake Anderson, Eric Benosdal, Corey Dumpert. Got up in the schlag, clear up by the wall. Nelson Bobright now in that fifth spot, followed by Robert Osborne, Corey Dumpert. Tagging right behind him, the 36 of Jim Johnson. But it is Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Blake Anderson, Eric Benosdal, Nelson Bobright, Corey Dumpert, Robert Osborne, Jim Johnson, Chase Osborne, Nelson Bobright. Here comes Chris Johnson, and then it is Cale Koziski. Ben Sukup with the lead, followed by Dylan Schmier, Blake Anderson, Eric Van Osdal. Look at Corey Dupper still using that high side, trying to make a move on the outside of Nelson Bobright. Yellow is out. Yellow is out, I believe, for the 94 of Matt Haase. Brings him out of turn number 4. We got a green flag restart. Whoa, there goes that tire again, but it's going to stay to the infield. There you go. Oh! We got a mess over in turn 4. Oh, I tell you what, I don't know what happened there, but boy, I tell you what. So we'll try once again. Ben Sukup to turn number 4. Let's go racing. Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Blake Anderson, Eric Van Osdal. Here comes Robert Osborne. He's going to use that high side. Now Van Osdal shoves Blake Anderson out of the way, says, hey, wait a minute, I want third, you go to fourth. But it's Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Van Osdal, Robert Osborne, Blake Anderson. Here comes Chase Osborne and Jim Johnson, Travis Berkeley, Caleb Jasperson, Chris Johnson, Cale Kaczynski, Matt Haase, and Alex Banks. It is Ben Sukup. Oh, we got one over. Red's going to come out. So we'll try it again. 14 laps to go. Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Van Osdal. Let's go racing. And there goes Alex Banks sliding sideways in turn 4 and sitting there. Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Van Osdal, Alex Banks gets it fired back up. We stay green on the speedway. It is Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Van Osdal, Alex Banks, Robert Osborne, Chase Osborne, Chris Johnson, Jim Johnson, Matt Haase, Travis Berkeley, Cale Kaczynski, and Alex Banks. Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Van Osdal, Blake Anderson, Robert Osborne, Chase Osborne, Chris Johnson, Matt Haase, Jim Johnson, Travis Berkeley, Cale Kaczynski, and Alex Banks. Now Jim Johnson all the way towards the back by Cale Kaczynski. Sukup has the lead, followed by Schmier, Van Osdal, and Anderson. Seven laps to go for Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Van Osdal, Blake Anderson, Chris Johnson, Chase Osborne, Robert Osborne, Matt Haase, Travis Berkeley, Cale Kaczynski, Jim Johnson, Alex Banks. And here comes your leader, Ben Sukup. 5 laps to go. So it's Ben Sukup. He is clicking off the laps. 4 to go, followed by Dylan Schmier, Eric Benazdal, Chris Johnson, Blake Anderson, Chase Osborne, Matt Haase, Robert Osborne, Travis Berkeley, Jim Johnson, Cale Gazitsky, and Alex Banks. 3 laps to go for Ben Sukup. To go, Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Benazdal, Chris Johnson, Blake Anderson, Chase Osborne, Robert Osborne, Matt Haase, Travis Berkeley, Jim Johnson, Cale Gazitsky, Alex Banks. Whites out, 1 to go for Ben Sukup. And the checker flag is going to fly for Ben Sukup, Dylan Schmier, Eric Benazdal in 3rd. It'll be Chris Johnson 4th, Blake Anderson in 5th. 6th will go to Chase Osborne, Robert Osborne, Matt Haase, Travis Berkeley, Jim Johnson, Cale Gazitsky, and Alex Banks.